Bereshith chapter 50. And Yosef fell on his Abba's face and wept over him and kissed him. And Yosef commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his Abba. So the physicians embalmed Israel, and 40 days were completed for him. For so are completed the days of embalming. And the Mitzrites wept for him 70 days. And when the days of weeping for him were past, Yosef spoke to the household of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found favor in your eyes, please speak in the hearing of Pharaoh, saying, My Abba made me swear, saying, Understand, I am dying. Bury me in my burial site which I dug for myself in the land of Canaan. And now, please let me go up and bury my Abba and return. And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury your Abba, as he made you swear. And Yosef went up to bury his Abba, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the Zakins of his house, and all the Zakins of the land of Mitzrayim, and all the house of Yosef, and his Akim, and his Abba's house. Only their little ones, and their flocks, and their herds they left in the land of Goshen. And there went up with them both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company. And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond the Jordan. And they lamented there with a great and very heavy lamentation. And he performed 7 days and mourning with his Abba. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning at the threshing floor of Atad, they said, This is a grievous mourning for the Mitzrites. That is why its name was called Abel Mitzrayim, which is beyond the Jordan. And his bens did to him as he had commanded them. For his bens brought him to the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, before Mamre, which Abraham bought with a field from Ephron the Hittite as property for a burial site. And after he had buried his Abba, Yosef returned to Mitzrayim, he and his Akim, and all who went up with him to bury his Abba. And when Yosef's Akim saw that their Abba was dead, they said, What if Yosef hates us and pays us back all the evil which we did to him? And they sent word to Yosef, saying, Before your Abba died, he commanded, saying, This is what you are to say to Yosef. I beg you, please, forgive the transgression of your Akim and their transgression against Yah's instruction, for they did evil to you. And now, please forgive the transgression of the servants of the power of your Abba. And Yosef wept when they spoke to him. And his Akim also went and fell down before his face. And they said, See, we are your servants. And Yosef said to them, Do not fear, for am I in the place of the power? And you intended evil against me, but the power intended it for good, in order to do it as it is this day, to keep a great many people alive. And now, do not fear, I provide for you and your little ones. So he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. And Yosef dwelt in Mitzrayim, he and his Abba's household. And Yosef lived 110 years. And Yosef saw Ephraim's children to the third generation. The children of Machir, ben Menashe, were also born on Yosef's knees. And Yosef said to his Akim, I am dying, but the power will certainly visit you and bring you out of this land to the land which he swore to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov. And Yosef made the children of Israel swear, saying, The power will certainly visit you, and you will bring up my bones from here. And Yosef died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was placed in a coffin in Mitzrayim.